Welcome back. Today we are unboxing some Fosi V3 monoblocks. So, for those of you who don't know, I built a straw bale structure and this is it. And I'm moving in. I got some two-way tower speakers that are pretty interesting. They're kind of hard to drive and I didn't really realize it when I purchased them. They're 86 dB in terms of their sensitivity and they're 4 ohm. And they're kind of hard to drive. I got a single stereo amplifier that had a TPA 3255 chip in it. It was a ZA3 and that was great, and it output 155 watts, or supposedly 155 watts per channel at 4 ohms. That didn't really work out. And the power supply itself could only output 240 watts at 4 ohms total. So anyway. Long and short of it is, I got these V3 monoblocks and they're 48 volt 10 amp power supplies. So once you account for losses, we're talking about 400 watts peak and about 240 watts RMS, essentially. There's some variance there. There's some discussion there. A lot of people have a lot of different opinions. I'm not sure exactly how they work, but I did know an audiophile growing up. His name was Howard. And he would always tell me that if you can get an amplifier, get the biggest amplifier you possibly can with the most power behind it, because of these peaks and these dynamics, any type of speaker is really, really going to benefit from having that juice behind it. So that's what I did. And was it worth the extra $50 per monoblock? I don't know, but essentially, I have a 48 volt, 10 amp power supply with each monoblock. I love it when companies do this. They just tape two boxes together so it's one box. It's fantastic. And I did get a Fosi ZD3 preamp. I will have to let you know how that is. It's been pretty awesome so far. I really do like Fosi products for like cheap, or for like chi-fi, is that how you say it? The China audiophile stuff. All right, the monoblock. This thing is so tiny. XLR versus RCA, off, auto, on. Cool. And all the connections in the back, look at that. And for the real star of the show, make sure we got the right one. Input 100 to 240 volts at 5 amps, output 48 volts at 10 amps max. Okay, cool. There we are. This is look how big this is. Look at the differences there. That's pretty insane. The power supply is bigger than the amplifier itself. I was expecting that, but it is funny to see in person. This gets treated kind of like a capacitor and it charges up to that 10 amps and then it can just, but we're only outputting 240 watts maximum in any of these. I actually didn't realize that when I purchased this. I thought I'd be able to get like 400 watts total, but this, it really only outputs 240 watts at 4 ohms, or I don't know off the top of my head what it is in different impedances, because I have 4 ohm speakers. So I could have probably got away with the 5 amp power supplies. That's probably what I should have done, but I went with the 10 amp power supplies just because I wanted as much power as possible. So this is the unboxing. Hopefully you like it. Oh, one thing they did change, on the earlier models, they had a 25 and a 31 dB gain. On these models, on the newer models, they have a 19 dB and a 25 dB gain. So there's a gain switch right there. So if you want to know whether or not you had an earlier model or a later model, you can check that gain switch and see if it's 25 to 31 or 19 to 25. And 19 to 25 is the newer model for this particular system. So that was the unboxing of these two V3 mono amplifiers that are essentially 300 plus 300 watt amplifier. Claimed it's really just 240 watts at 4 ohms, but it goes anywhere. It goes down to 2 ohms and all the way up to 8 ohms. Class D amplifier, pretty cool. These will be powering my aerial acoustics, Model 7s in the back, and I sure hope it works. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.